Hello there. I'm Scotty. You're not. And I finally get to sit down and talk about weapons. Yes. Excuse me. Uh, yeah, this came out. Everybody was all hyped about this movie because Barbarian. This is directed by Zach Kreger, who did Barbarian. And everybody loved Barbarian. I really liked Barbarian. Everyone is hyping it because he made Barbarian. Barbarian's one of the greatest horror movies in the last few years. And I'm like, yeah, he made Barbarian. That was good. He also made Miss March, which was not so good. So it's like, you know, and there was some issues I had with Barbarian, but overall I liked it. I cannot say the same for this one because I had issues. I guess I can't say I didn't like it, but I just, I don't know. It just, I don't like it when it tries to cut my head off. I so damn it. I don't mess with this at all, and I have to keep on messing with it every time. So I knew nothing about this. I saw the first trailer, and I knew the only thing I knew was that kids are being kidnapped, and no one knew why. Now Julia Garner was in this. She's all over the place this year. Apparently, Pedro Pascal was supposed to be in this, so there's a connection, but he wasn't. He was replaced with Josh Brolin, who I think did a pretty good job. My problem stems from the fact that they decided to make this a non-linear story. They jump around from character to character. Sometimes that can work, like in Pulp Fiction. I don't think it works as well as they wanted it to. I will say, what was the other movie that they did not non-linear for that I had a problem with? Because the storytelling, it didn't work for the storytelling. I don't remember what it was. I guess the storytelling in this one works better than whatever that one was. I don't remember what it was. I don't think I own it either, because I don't think I would have. I'm trying to think. There's something I can do. Hold on. Strange Darling. That's what it was. It was Strange Darling. And I do own it. I didn't think that the storytelling in Strange Darling, the non-linear storytelling in that movie, worked for that film. In some ways, it does work for this film, but I don't think it worked the way they wanted it to. Because the way that it happens is that we'll follow a character, lead up to something big happening, and then we cut to another character. And we follow them, and something big happens, cut to another character. It's a cock tease. I don't think it worked the way he thought it would work. Leading up to something big happening and then cutting to another character to get another point of view doesn't work. I want to go back to what happened there, right? You do eventually get to it, but you have to wait. You have to come take the long way around to get to that moment. There's also a few things that are unexplained. Who is the narrator? At the beginning and end of this film, it's narrated by a little girl. A little girl we never meet. We never see who the narrator is. Who is it? Also, I don't feel we are given enough explanation as to who Aunt Gladys is. She explains to Marcus, Benedict Wong's character, that she is Alex's aunt, the older sister of his mother's. And even during Alex's story time, whatever, part of the film, They say your Aunt Gladys is coming to live here. But the way that she's presented as being very, very old, I think that's bullshit. I don't think she's actually. There's no way. There's no way she could be the older sister of Alex's. That's the only other kid that's left after all this, right? Which I have an issue with the way they depict the people in this movie. The townspeople that go nuts. We'll get to it. But like, she's presented as being very, very old, as if she's been doing this for centuries. The way she talks, the way she uses certain words differently than other people, like she's very, very old. I don't think that can work as being Alex's real aunt. And she's presented as a witch. I'm going full spoilers on this. I'm not going linear in this bitch because the movie doesn't. Why should I? She's presented as being a witch. She's a witch. So I think a certain part of that is using her magical influence. Like, she's not even related to these people. She just happened to latch on to the first family and cast a spell on them. Oh, your Aunt Gladys is coming to visit. Because I think he even says she's never met her before. So, yeah. You know. But yeah, and you know from the trailer at least that some kids have gone missing. And they're all from Julia Garner's class. Or Janine? Is it Janine? I have to look. I don't think it's Janine. Justine. I was close. Justine. And so they're all from her class, and the townsfolk just start to lash out at her. Why they're from her class? Did she have to do that? What'd you do to the kids? You do the kids? And I'm just like, I think you're looking at the wrong point of view here. Like, everyone is quick to jump on her. I'm sitting here going, wait, why aren't they pointing out that this one kid is somehow unaffected by everything? Why aren't they pointing out this kid? This kid who seems unaffected by anything. The only kid who not to disappear at 217. Why aren't they focused on this kid? Why is their attention on this teacher? Why aren't they asking why this kid was unaffected? Why this kid wasn't taken? Why, because the film is written so it ignores that until later. But, And so we follow Justine as she's obviously she has like a history of alcoholism, and she's going back into that, and she's getting harassed by people, and so on and so forth. And she reaches out to this guy named Paul, which is Alden Ehrenreich, the man who would be Solo. I love you, Solo! Han Solo, excuse me. And they have a history, and they end up sleeping together, alcohol inhibited, of course. And that happens, and she's about to get attacked by Benedict Wong, and it cuts. And now we follow Josh Brolin's character, Archer. He's one of the fathers of these kids. It was supposed to be Pedro Pascal. Pedro Pascal is also old. So I don't know what they were doing. Guy that's north of 50, playing the father of I don't know. But he's busy trying to find his child. Matthew. So he finds one of the neighbors whose kid was also taken, and talks to the woman in the house, who is played by Zach Gregor's wife, or Kreger's wife, Sarah Paxton. He's like, I was wondering if I could look at your security camera footage. She's like, I'm not comfortable with that. So he sits and he waits for her husband, Justin Long, which unfortunately means this is not the same universe as Barbarian, because Justin Long was already a character in that. I don't care what you say. If he comes out and says it isn't in the same that it is in the same universe, bullshit. There cannot be two Justin Longs in the same universe. I refuse to believe it. Anyway, and so he talks him into letting him see it. And so they look at the ring footage and see that they're running the same as his sons and in the same kind of pattern and direction. So he starts to try to figure out everything is, which leads him to Justine as he goes to talk to her. That's when Benedict Wong shows up and attacks her, and it cuts again. Because now we're following Paul. And I feel like you could have cut Paul and the drug dealer's stories. I don't know why we needed to follow them when their stories weren't really going to amount to anything. Because we have Paul, he's on the beat, he finds the drug dealer, he asks the drug dealer, do you have anything on you, epiphany? No, do you have anything that could cut me in your pockets? No. And he reaches in, and he gets poked with a dirty needle. Quite rightfully so, he cocks the guy in the face. Motherfucker! And he sanitizes himself. Because, yeah, the guy lied. I did laugh. That was kind of funny. He's just like, poof. And then when the guy was like, what the fuck? Right? Oh, there's also a moment in Josh Brolin. There are these weird-ass nightmares that I feel like are... I don't understand them because Justine has a nightmare where she goes to a classroom and all the kids are there, but they're all weird except for Alex. And then you see a glimpse of Aunt Gladys, which doesn't make any sense, but they're hinting at her. And also there's another dream that Josh Brolin has, where he's like trying to find his son, but it's not his son, and he's looking around, and you see like a rifle or something in the sky with an alarm clock that says 2:17, and he also sort of sees Gladys, which also, I don't know how they're dreaming of this woman, but, you know. But yeah, Josh Brolin has the dream, and he wakes up and has the most normal response. What the fuck? Just like, yeah, I've done that. I'll wake up, what the fuck? You know, what the hell? Just like, yeah, like, yeah. So then, you know, it goes to him having sex with Justine, which, if he's been infected and he's infected her with something, I don't know. But he tells the drug dealer guy, James, not to come around the police station anymore. So he goes, meets up with Justine, they do the thing. The next one he goes home, his wife is pissed. She's supposed to be out of town, but she's back, and she realizes he cheated on her. She does attack Justine's story, but I skipped over that. And then he goes back to the police station where he sees James there again and freaks out on him. We cut to James's story. He's a drug dealer. He's trying to sell anything for money, blah, blah, blah. And after his first encounter with Paul, he actually ends up trying to ransack Alex's house, where he finds the kids down in the basement and runs off. Though he is chased by, runs off. He tries to call the cops and say, hey, can you just meet me there? Because he's already been told not to show up, but apparently that's not how it works. So he goes to the police station where Paul freaks out and chases after him. This is the first time everything is conclusive. Chases after him, and then he's like, you sort of see Gladys in the forest or whatever, but he's like, I was trying to find you. I was trying to go to tell. I found the kids. So he takes them to Alex's house, and Paul's like, okay, I'm gonna go in. And he handcuffs James to the thing, and as soon as Paul went in, I'm like, he ain't coming back out. I know how horror movies work. He's not coming back out. He does, but he's like in some sort of trance, like the kids. He comes running out, he grabs James and drags him back in. Smash cut to Benedict Wong, and this is earlier when Justine called him. He was talking to him. He's like, okay, I will make a meeting with his parents and I will talk to him. But when the parents are supposed to show up, Gladys shows up. She's like, "Oh, I'm his Aunt Gladys. They're both sick. They got the consumption," which is a clue to how old she might possibly be. "I'm just taking care of them while they're ill." And he's like, "Well, I can't really do anything. I need a legal guardian, you know." Okay, I guess we'll figure something out. And then she shows up at his house. That's where we find out that Benedict Wong's character is gay. Nothing against it, but I don't know why it was necessary. But it feels like a box getting ticked off at this point. It's like when you're making a movie, a gay character, check. That's what it feels like now with everything in these movies. Like every once in a while in a movie back in the day, you'd see it, but every movie now has at least one LGBT representative character, and it feels like they're just checking a box now. Sorry to say, that's what it feels like. So, okay, here's the gay character of the film. There you go. You happy? Not my words. It's probably their words. Like, if we don't have at least one gay character, people will outcry, "Oh, what's wrong? Too afraid to have a gay character in a movie?" That's what this feels like. There's two gay characters, technically, because they're a couple. So, yeah, she shows up, and that's where you get a sense that she's this witch. She has this... She was looking at ribbons in his classroom anyway. And by the way, props to not only having to be a gay character, but a gay character in a prominent position. Like, he's the school principal. Respectable position. You know, it's not like, oh, he's the secretary or he's, you know, just another teacher. He is the principal. He's a gay character in a prominent position. You know, people will also put, "Oh, that's woke," but shut up. Yeah, so she's like, "Oh, I need a bowl of water," but she's like, "I need some water," and then go to get a glass, a bowl. So she takes this thorny stick and she wraps the around it, and then the ribbon around it, the yellow ribbon around it. She snaps it, and it makes Benedict Wong attack his own husband. And then he darts off. He puts the piece of Julia Garner's hair that she cut off in the scene I didn't mention. Because Julia Garner then kind of... Oh, that's right. Her story doesn't end with there. It ends with she goes to check out Alex's house. She becomes concerned. And she passes out from alcohol, and that's when you just see a scissors cut. How they knew she was there is beyond me, but whatever. So, Benedict Wong runs off, and we get that connection to the chase scene of him attacking them. We get the conclusion to that, and then Alex's turn. And we get more connection there, where it's like Alex was told that his Aunt Gladys was coming to stay with them, and she's sick, she's deathly ill, she's dying, blah, 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 and she can barely move from her bed. And then his dad drops him off at school, says, "I'll pick you up," but he never does. So he comes home, and he finds them catatonic, and basically Gladys says, "I control them, and if you try to do anything," they start stabbing their faces. Harm is going to come to them. What I need you to do is I need you to go to your classroom and get the name tags from all of your classmates. So I still don't understand why it has to be his class other than convenience at this point. Because I'm watching this movie and going, why is it specifically his class? By the end of it, I'm thinking convenience, I guess. But yeah. We see that Justine catches him, but she doesn't catch on. Because she can't catch on, honestly. Everyone's like, why is she so stupid? Because she was written that way. She can't catch on, there's no movie. So, yeah, he takes to the back, she buries it in the yard behind this tree, where she's able to control these kids to shoot out of their houses at 2:17 a.m. And, yeah. and feeding them soup and feeding the parents soup. And Alex is stuck doing this. He's like, well, if I do this, will you leave? Yes. Apparently, she's sucking the life force from these kids, is what it is. We cut back to Justine and Archer, who have connected everything to Alex's house. So now we get the big showdown and a bit of a letdown. Like I said, Paul and James's story, I don't feel like their story has a conclusive enough ending to me. Conclusive, I mean, but like satisfying. Like, James is just a drug dealer, but Paul had a connection to our main character, and they just throw him away as this. Although I did get vibes when it started. He's a cop who's the ex-boyfriend of the main character. I'm like, this is Smile. This is just Smile. And much like Kyle Gallner's character in that movie, well, in the sequel anyway, he's thrown away like trash because it's revealed they are both under Gladys's control. And so they're just like guard dogs, basically. There's a cool, gnarly moment where she's like using a vegetable peeler on Paul's face. It's gnarly. But ultimately, they're both killed when she shoots him with Paul's gun. Which, I don't know why Glass didn't have control Paul to use the gun. I would have been over quicker, I think, but okay. They're both taken out. And then, for some fucking how, Josh Brolin gets taken over by Gladys. They never show it. He just is, and he attacks her. Because, like, he runs down to the basement to find his son, which he does. But then he comes running back up and grabs Justine and just choking the hell out of her while Gladys gloats. Meanwhile, Alex has passed over the salt that was in front of his parents, and they're freaking out, Shining style, smashing through the door till he gets a piece of the branch connected to the kids, and he puts a piece of Gladys's hair on there, snaps it, and she has that oh shit moment, and all 17 kids run up the stairs, chase her throughout the neighborhood. I did feel this chase scene was a bit too long. I don't understand why they couldn't just come up the stairs, tackle her down, rip her to pieces. I don't know why they had to chase her all around the neighborhood, then do it. This movie's 128 minutes, and you could have cut something down, right? Like, you could have just, like, I don't know. Because, like, with James already going to the house, Gladys was already following him. So maybe Paul chases him to his little tent or whatever, and Gladys is there, and she kind of snips 2 pieces of him, takes control of him. There, instead of wasting time with him going in and all that. But I do feel like Paul was wasted. I felt like he should have been another one of the main characters. He was sort of presented as that. He had a connection to Justine. I felt like he was just thrown away. I think he needed more. I think he needed more of an arc than just being mind controlled. To me, you know, I feel like what should have happened is when a drug dealer is like, "Hey, I found the kids. I found the kids," and so he and so he doesn't believe him, and he arrests him, throws him in jail. But then when Justine shows up and tells him, "Hey, we've tracked down," we'll then show up and say, "Oh, we've narrowed everything down to this kid Alex's house." Son of a bitch, he was right. So then all 4 of them, because he lets the guy go, and all 4 of them go. Right? Or he just says, "You know what? Stay here, I'll let you out when I get back." And the 3 of them go. And give Paul a more conclusive arc than just like as soon as he shot, I'm like, come on. I had hoped that he would be freed from it or something, or she would talk to him and free him. I don't know. But pretty much what happens is they tear Gladys to pieces. Then Josh Brolin comes out. He grabs his still catatonic son. The kids aren't free from her control. Somehow. I don't. Maybe you get to burn the tree or something. I don't know. And the parents are still catatonic. The narrator comes back. And that's what's kind of disappointing is that we don't get any of this. We're just told this. The narrator comes back and says that Alex's parents are now in their own care facility. They're being fed soup or whatever. And Alex has moved in with another aunt of his. And then the kids eventually started to talk again. But, I guess. I don't know. It's just a quick wrap up. Like, oh, we ran out. This thing is 128 minutes, and they still ran out of time to tell us the story. So we had this narrator who, again, is never explained to us who this is. It just is. Yeah. It just is. Thus ends the movie. Oh, I forgot to mention that Benedict Wong gets hit by a car when Josh Brolin is chasing him. That's the end of his story. I forgot to mention that. So, yeah. I'll give it the middle of the road. It wasn't terrible. I just wasn't into it as much. I feel like I can see how the non-linear storytelling works. I do feel like they should have not hinted at Gladys so much during this. Like, I still don't understand why the fuck Justine and Josh Brolin were having dreams of her. I can see Aunt Gladys following James around because he was in the house. So, but I don't know. I didn't care too much for it, that's all. So what are your thoughts on Weapons? Why is it called Weapons? Because she's using the people as weapons? I guess it makes more sense than why the other one was called Barbarian. Because I don't understand that one either. Anyway, thank you for watching. I'm Scotty, and I'll see you in the next one.